Well, the Cleveland Browns found their guy, ex-Baltimore Raven offensive coordinator Todd Monken, and a lot of Cleveland media does not like it. They didn't expect Todd Monken to get the head coaching job. Now, Todd Monken is a guy that supports Shedeur Sanders fully. You are now tuned into another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K. Sapp. And guess what? We're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man. I got something to say.
Yeah, guys, I got something to say, man. And I don't think the Cleveland media, some personnel in the Cleveland media don't like this hire of Todd Monken. They all thought it was going to be Jim Schwartz. And Todd Monken just came out of nowhere. Was put on the radar, after John Harbaugh was let go by the Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people thought that Todd Monken was going to take over that Ravens head coaching position. But then, things changed. Now Todd Monken is the Cleveland Browns head coach. And what does this mean? This suits well for Shedeur Sanders and everybody that supports Shedeur Sanders and know what Shedeur Sanders is capable of doing as an NFL quarterback. And Todd Monken will bring the best out of him because Todd Monken caters to quarterbacks. He's almost like a quarterback guru. Now, if you look at Todd Monken when he was at the University of Georgia, he turned Stetson Benson, somebody that wasn't even supposed to be the starter, turned him into a two-time national championship winner. And see, the thing about Stetson Bennett, Todd Monken groomed him along the way. Now, you've seen what Todd Monken had when, it had the likes of Baker Mayfield. You saw what he had when he had the likes of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, how he groomed him into a dynamic quarterback, because when Lamar Jackson came into the league, they said Lamar Jackson should have came in as a special teams player. And Lamar Jackson told everybody, no, he's an NFL quarterback and he's a two-time MVP. Lamar Jackson, he's thrown the ball, he can run the ball. And what Todd Monken does, he plays to your quarterback's strengths. And now Todd Monken is going viral because he is going to prioritize Shedeur Sanders as his number one option to get things going. And that's going to be Cleveland's quarterback one. And a lot of people said that through the draft, they should draft a quarterback. So let's put all that to bed now. Todd Monken is not drafting no quarterback. Todd Monken is going to build around Shedeur Sanders. He's going to make some draft picks and have everybody on board. They need to get another playmaking wide receiver and upgrade that offensive line and build around Shedeur Sanders and play to Shedeur Sanders' strength because, Shedeur Sanders loves to throw the ball down the field. Now, this is a great hire for the Cleveland Browns. Now, it seems like Jim Schwartz, he wants out, but I think the Cleveland Browns will bring him back as the defensive coordinator. And because the defense is already a sound defense, a good enough defense, you just got to put the offense around it, and everybody got to be on the same page, and they got to have some cohesiveness to get this thing going so Cleveland Browns can be a formidable team in the future with head coach Todd Monken hire and building around Shedeur Sanders. Now, I love this hire because he's going to bring the best out of Shedeur Sanders. He's going to play to his strengths because we know Shedeur Sanders, when he gets the ball down the field, they got a good runner in Quinshon Judkins. I just hope Quinshon Judkins comes back healthy, a full recovery where he has no setbacks. We don't know what David Njoku is going to do. He's a free agent. Are they going to bring him back? But you know what you got in Harold Fannin Jr., Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy. They need somebody to play alongside Jerry Jeudy. They need a big-time playmaker. And I think that guy will be Cornell Tate, out of Ohio State. But we're going to see what happens in this draft. But as of right now, Todd Monken, his priority is everything is centered around Shedeur Sanders. And we're going to listen to what, Kyle Long and Charles Davis said when the news broke of this hiring. And they had some great things to say about Todd Monken and Shedeur Sanders and how Todd Monken is going to prioritize Shedeur Sanders as the number one priority for the Cleveland Browns to get this ship turned back around. So let's take a listen to what the guys had to say when the news broke.
Baker Mayfield there and others in Bucks OC in 2016 and 18, then Southern Miss when he was the HC for 2 seasons, 13 and 25, but as usual, it seems like a QB guru. All right, joining us now on set, my guy Kyle Long, and then also right in front of your screens here, Charles Davis with his breaking news. And Kyle, I wanted to start with you because you made a good point off camera. Tell me why this is a great hire, not just for the Browns, but also Todd Monken and QB1 and Shedeur Sanders.
Well, if you take a look at what the Cleveland Browns have at their disposal right now, they have a young quarterback that is not lacking in confidence. He loves throwing the football down the field. In addition to that, they've got a young running back who enjoys being the bell cow for that offense. And I think those two things have to be pertinent and like priority one in a Todd Monken offense. And Lamar Jackson and those guys that did a lot of RPO stuff, they did a lot of strength on the offense. The two things that really appeal to me with Shedeur Sanders is confidence and running the football. They're going to have to go get a real receiver number one to pair with Jerry Jeudy. But I love this hire already. I think Shedeur will really lean into this style of offense.
Kyle, I love what you're saying here because you're focusing in on why this hire is a good one for the Cleveland Browns, not who they didn't get, not, oh, is this a sexy enough one? Oh, what do the Cleveland Browns fans think of this? Are they going to win the press conference? This is beyond all of that. And when you go back over Todd Monken's resume, you'll see so many different things where he understands how to adapt to personnel given to him. This is who I have to work with. This is who I have to play with. Evaluate who they are as players and their strengths and make that work real well. Look, I'm just going to focus in very quickly on the University of Georgia. I realized Georgia was loaded. Duh. We all saw that. They got players that come in every year. In fact, just watch the Philadelphia Eagles roster and you see the University of Georgia. We get that, right? But Stetson Bennett never should have been the starting quarterback at Georgia.
Just like I said.
He found a way. Walk on, turned into a more than a productive player, ended up going into the NFL. He'll probably never be a starter. But Stetson Bennett, a 2-time national champion,
what did I
Todd
say?
Monken helped bring him along, played to his strengths, and went from there. That's why what I think you said, Kyle, is so key about understanding who Shedeur Sanders is and what his strengths are. Big one, throwing it downfield. They have to add to the wide receiver core outside. But David Njoku gives you a nice little tight end, which is every young quarterback's dream. They have to have it. And let's get Quinshon Judkins back from injury and get him going. I like the hire for those reasons.
Same things I'm
last but
saying.
not least, this guy's going to bring a structure to the team and a discipline to the team that I think that they're going to need going forward.
Now, you heard what the guys had to say. Basically, they was piggybacking off everything that I said, man. And I totally agree with them, man. So kudos to them. See, this is what happens, man. These are facts. These are not opinions. These are facts that these guys are saying. And these are facts that what I'm saying. And a lot of Cleveland media, all that, rimping and ramping and hooping and hollering that Jason Lloyd and Anthony Lima did, they are non-factors. Everything that they try to spit out there in the stratosphere is not going to work because Todd Monken's top priority is Shedeur Sanders, and he's going viral because that's his priority. And Todd Monken, like they said in the clip that you just heard, he brings in structure. He's almost like a quarterback guru. Like I said, what did he do for Stetson Bennett? So this is what I'm trying to say. All that rigmarole that was going on about Shedeur Sanders, he's not this, he can't do this, and he shouldn't be on the Cleveland Browns roster. Ha, ha, ha. Now, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Now, y'all got to stay on one side. And a lot of media personnel in Cleveland, they don't like this hire of Todd Monken because Todd Monken is going to bring out the best in Shedeur Sanders, and it's going to shut up all the haters as such as Jason Lloyd, Anthony Lima, Ross Tucker, and all the people like Mary Kay and Tony Grossi and all that. And look, Tony Russo is going to have a field day on his show next year when the football season starts off. And he's going to look at everybody and say, look, ha, ha, ha. Who's laughing now? Who's smiling now? Who's crying now? And see, this is what happens. Be patient because it's going to happen. And Todd Monken is the best fit for the Cleveland Browns. So you guys get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about today's video. Let me know what y'all think about this Todd Monken hire. To me, it's a perfect fit for Shedeur Sanders. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. We're going to catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. I see everybody in the comment section. # salute.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.